Welcome to another episode of Nightmare Stories of the Other Side, a podcast where we talk about paranormal experiences, encounters, investigations, and everything in between, told by fellow investigators. I'm your host tonight, Jada, and I'm turning it over to my co-host and this podcast pioneer. Would you like
Our,
to introduce our guest?
yes, tonight we welcome in David Salinas. He is the creator and host behind Down the Rabbit Hole Live, Deeper Down the Rabbit Hole with David, and David Don't Know. He blends curiosity, humor, and the love for the unexplained. David explores everything from ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs, cryptids, conspiracies, haunted history, and high strangeness to the deeper questions of consciousness, reality, and what may exist beyond what we can see. With the growing paranormal community across social media, Down the Rabbit Hole is where the weird, mysterious, and impossible all come together. So welcome in, David.
Thank you so much. I couldn't have said that better myself, man.
Hey,
Appreciate that.
you're the one who wrote that, so
Is that right? I wrote it?
yep, that came from
Sounds
you.
like me. Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm doing too much. That's a lot of stuff I'm doing. Oh my God.
Oh, I know how that feeling goes.
All right. So, for someone who is discovering you for the first time, who is David?
Um, who am I? It's funny. In my show, David Don't Know, I have this thing called the 6 questions at the very end of every show. I asked every single guest the same questions, the very last question being, who the F do you think you are? And it's very similar to this. I think I'm a guy who has reached a certain age, who has learned a ton of stuff. I am very interested in the paranormal, the unexplained, all this conspiracy stuff. It's like a passion of mine. And that's what led me to this 4-year journey of creating Down the Rabbit Hole, which I do post every single day, have not missed a day in over 4 years, which is built up to 1.2 million followers
That's
on
awesome.
all the social media. Thank you.
Yep, I see a ton of posts on Instagram all the time, and it's just like they're just like eye-catching. It's like, okay, what am I going to see next? It's like you never know.
Man, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that because the whole thing is I love watching paranormal shows. One of my favorites being Paranormal Caught on Camera.
Okay.
And so I love the show, but every so often, if you watch a whole show, there's maybe 3 or 4 minutes where you're like, that is amazing. But the rest of it is like not so much,
Yeah.
right? You can tell it's not real or it's just lights in the sky and that's all you see. Well, I wanted to create a little platform and show videos that I thought were worthy, that
Yeah.
every one that I drop is something that you want to see, right?
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I did that just for me. It was just like I want to do it so I can go back to it and look at it myself. Something I want to do, because it's a passion of mine. I did not expect to be, to have all these followers. That was not what I was expecting. I was just having fun with it.
Yeah.
And now, I feel very fortunate because I'm on the payroll from Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and all that. And it's done really well. I'm really happy with what it's become.
Yeah.
That's really awesome and a great achievement.
Yeah, definitely. So, what first inspired you to create Down the Rabbit Hole?
Well, I pretty much what I was just saying was well, I'll say this. I've had experiences since I was very, very young that I couldn't explain. And I'm a scientific kind of guy. I like to lean towards the scientific and explain things or like or debunk them, right? Because to me, you can't think that everything that happens is a paranormal experience. It's just not possible. It's not a real thing. Sometimes it's just the AC that's moving
Right.
your rocking chair or closing the door. Sometimes it's not. But that's basically what led me to this. The experiences I had very young, and then I had a pretty very unusual experience at 2014 and it changed my whole outlook. So, once you go through something like that, your I guess you can say your mind expands and your view broadens and you just want to just experience and explore as much as you possibly can before you leave this mortal coil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matt knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that right, Matt?
Yep.
So, why do you think that you've always been attracted to the paranormal or things that can't easily be explained?
I think it's because you know, I I did this other podcast with a good friend of mine called One Nothing, and that was about the unexplained. It was about animal attacks and true crime. And that podcast, we both gave each other like this name. Like I called her the Duchess of Death because every episode someone dies, right? And she called me the Duke of Darkness. And
Okay.
that's kind of what it kind of stuck. It's like a thing. I'm dark. I look into the dark side of everything. I like to look at like conspiracies, for example. I love talking about them. I don't believe every single conspiracy, but they're very interesting to talk about. So, yeah, I just that's where it came from. It's a desire to look into that stuff, to, there's all these things all over the country, all over the world
Oh,
that you
yeah,
can
there
actually
is.
drill down to something, try to find the history of it. That's what really excites me, is try to find what happened. Why is there this spirit here? Did they die here? Is there something that happened to them and that's why they're stuck, and to try to find the history and try to understand, maybe it's not, maybe it's something else, right? I just love that stuff. It's just so interesting to me that I have to drill and go deeper down that
Mhm.
subject and figure it out. So yeah, I
Yeah.
just love it. I just love it to death.
Yeah, I remember back in 2020 when we were in lockdown, it's like, had a lot of time in my hands, like found all these YouTube videos and kind of went down some rabbit holes myself. And it's just like, it's like you just get hooked on it. It's
Oh yeah.
crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't get enough of it, really. It's just one of those things where I just have to look into this. I see something, some video out there, because I search every morning. I'm looking for videos to share. I'm looking for posts to put out. And I tend to get into one subject, for example, uh reincarnation. That was a subject I was looking into today. There is a story about a child who remembered that he actually worked at the Twin Towers, and that's where
Interesting.
his last life, that's where he died. And it's, during the attacks, 9/11, he was talking about him. He was explaining what he did. He was explaining, that he had a bike and he would ride his bike to work. And so there was a gentleman who was a best friends with this guy who passed away, heard about this kid talking about it because the kid identified himself, his name from his past life. So this best friend of that gentleman, his name was Ben, and the man that passed away, his name was Robert. He actually reached out to the family to see if he could talk to the kid, and they allowed it. So they're like, yeah, they got him
Wow.
together. And the kid was telling him, hey, Ben, do you remember I would ride my bike to work every day? And Ben was like, yeah, I actually remember that. He said something else that no one knew. He said, hey, Ben, do you remember when someone broke into my house like a week before this happened? And that had not been put out there in the news. No one knew about this.
That's insane.
And Ben remembered. And it's just,
Wow.
I'm fascinated by that stuff. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
That's wild. So, considering the content that you create and put out, how
Mhm.
important do you believe that humor is in adding levity and keeping yourself from falling down these dark paths?
Oh, I love it. Humor is really important. I think I don't really use it a lot and down the rabbit hole. I do it in David Don't Know or Deeper Down the Rabbit Hole with David, those two podcasts that I have. I try to bring humor in as much as possible. The I've interviewed like Ronnie LeBlanc, for example. He's a great guy. He was on Paranormal Caught on Camera, which
Mhm.
is the show that I was talking about before. I love that
Yep.
show. And
Yeah.
I loved watching him on that show, and the fact that I was able to interview him was just amazing. I also just recently interviewed Dr. Jim Segala, who was uh, in the first season of Mystery of Skinwalker Ranch. He was the PhD who went out there and did some research and all this stuff, and he was fascinating. That dude,
Yeah.
amazing. The stuff that he came out with and talked about. He also was a person who brought forth MUPOS. Have you ever heard of MUPOS? This is something that he's putting all over to measure like paranormal activity and seeing if it's related to like say gamma radiation, or is there
Okay.
differences in like atmosphere. And then he says that pretty much he can measure that, and at the same time those things happen, paranormal events also happen. So he's
Yeah.
actually
Interesting.
really studying that stuff. And it's so yeah, I mean, to answer your question, it's important because you cannot be dark all the time. Okay, it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not feasible, man. You can't do that. Don't do it. Be happy. Laugh. Laughter is important. It's
Hmm.
good medicine.
It
Yeah.
is.
So, at what point do you believe that your curiosity turned from just being simple curiosity, interested in this stuff, to being something that you wanted to pursue with research and a career?
Well, I've always wanted to do it. It's just that I
Hmm.
had this job. I was an IT manager. Before that, an administrator, and I did a lot of work, and it kept me from actually concentrating on this stuff.
Yeah.
And so then I got a break. I got fired.
Hmm.
And so the very next day after getting fired, I created Down the Rabbit Hole, and suddenly I had the time to go and look into it.
Yeah.
And I did have an experience in 2014 that changed my whole outlook.
Hmm.
And because before that, I didn't believe in ghosts, to be honest with you. I didn't believe in pretty much any of this stuff. I just found it fascinating. And then I had a ghost experience that I couldn't explain, and I tried so hard to explain.
Yeah.
Uh, but there was just no way to explain it. And so it really opened up my world as in a sense, to pursue this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you care to elaborate on what that experience was?
Absolutely. I actually, it was a day in October, and I feel like I experienced a it's hard to I think I felt two different timelines in the same moment.
Wow.
Uh and the way this happened was I was in my apartment. I was it's like a building that had 8 units. I was the only one in the apartment. Me and my little dog Charlie were there, and I was watching TV, and I recall, it was like 4 in the afternoon. It's Sunday. I go to work on Monday, and I was thinking, I'm really tired. Should I take a nap? And I didn't. I decided if I take a nap, it's going to screw up my sleep, and I'm going to have a terrible Monday. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But apparently, I also have a memory of actually taking a nap.
Okay.
And what's weird is there was a fire raging above me. I had no idea what was going on. The neighbors left a candle on, it caught,
Wow.
and I could smell smoke, but I thought people were barbecuing. It was crazy because it's Texas.
Yeah.
That's all we do on Sundays is barbecue here, right?
Yeah.
And I heard like a window break, and I was certain it was a window from upstairs. I get up from my chair and I go look, and I can see glass in the ground. I thought, oh, these people are arguing again.
Hmm.
I also have a memory of waking up from the same glass breaking from taking a nap, something I decided not to do. And I don't understand why I had that memory, but I woke up hearing it, thinking it's them, went back to sleep. And
Hmm.
it wasn't long after that that a man was knocking on all the doors, screaming, fire, fire. And so I got out. As I get out, I can see where that window that broke, fire is just raging out of that window, and I get into my car, which is, I can feel it. It's tremendous heat. Get away. There's like 4 fire trucks there. They're hitting with water. They later told me that if I didn't get out of there in the next 10 minutes, I would have died from smoke inhalation.
Crazy.
Wow.
So that night, I had nowhere to stay. My sister says, "Come on by the house." She was renting this house in a place called Cherry Ridge. She didn't say anything about what was going on. They were having some experiences, but she didn't tell me. So I'm in her guest bedroom. Me and Charlie are asleep. It's like 3 in the morning, and I think my sister's waking me up because I'm sleeping on my right side, and I feel this hand, like little hand, like moving my shoulder, and I'm sure it's her because she's 5 feet, she's tiny, and I wake up saying, "What is it? Another fire?" And when I look to see her, there's no one there,
Oh my gosh.
but I can still feel that movement in my hand. And
Mhm.
then I look to the door because I cannot sleep unless the door is closed and locked. It's still closed and locked. There's no one in the room with me.
Wow.
And I'm like freaked out, but now I'm fully awake, right? It stops and it starts to walk around the bed. I can hear footsteps. It's like a wood floor sloshing, like it's wearing socks or something. It sloshes around the bed behind me and then it giggles. And it
Ugh.
sounds like a little child, like a little boy giggling. And I freaked out, man. I've never experienced anything that terrifying. I was frozen from what I was actually hearing, and I couldn't. My brain broke. Really, I
Yeah.
covered myself with the blanket, and then it walked back. I could hear it walking back to face me again. And the whole time I'm thinking, I may never get another chance to see a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look. So I lift the blanket to see because it's right there. I lift and there's nothing there, but then I hear three knocks right against the wall, and it freaks me out. And it did that most of the night. It knocked on the wall 3 times over and over again. And
Wow.
then the next morning, I asked my sister, "Hey man, something weird happened," and she goes, "Oh, you experienced it too?" And I was like, "Oh
Mhm.
shit, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me something is weird in your house." And you left me in there like a guinea pig. And she says, "Yeah, mom and dad experienced something in there, and I experienced something in there." She says her son, my nephew, he was around 3 or 4 at the time. In that room, he has conversations, and I thought it was a like a what do you call it? Like an imaginary friend,
Yeah.
right? He's that age. It's probably an imaginary friend, but she says that whatever he's talking to, he called it Coco. I'm talking to my friend Coco. After a while, Coco started to scare him to the point where he would run screaming out of that room and he would never go back in that room.
Wow.
So bizarre stuff, man. That is an experience that opened my eyes to this whole thing. It's real, it's something.
Yeah.
Oh, it
I guess you
is.
got to experience it yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've had like instances in my office before. I was sitting at my desk at like 6 in the morning drinking my coffee, and like above my computer, I got a couple shelves. I've
Mhm.
had a Lego figure fly off the shelf and land on the my desk right next to me. I'm like, hello. It's
That's
just like
weird, man.
it didn't phase me because I'm just like, but I'm like, there's no way it could have flown off the shelf. It's just
Yeah.
something picked it up and threw it.
So, what was the first detail of your reality shift that made you realize that something was off?
From what? From that experience?
Yes.
I don't know how to answer that question. I guess the fact that I experienced a paranormal event, and before that I didn't believe it. People would tell me their stories, and I thought, oh, I don't think you experienced that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. There's no scientific backing for it, and all whatever. And then that happened, and it altered my thinking completely because once you experience it, and you're trying to say or like debunk it, or you're trying to figure out what it could have been something else. When an entity touches you and wakes you, that changes your thinking automatically. You're done. It's
Yeah.
real now. Something has happened and your whole world is different. So like from that point, my life was completely changed.
Mhm.
And now I have to find out why did that happen? Is there more to it? And there actually is more to the story. We actually, my sister doesn't live there anymore, but she found someone who did, and actually she works with that person. So it was a much older gentleman in his 70s who was a security guard at the place she works. And they just happened to be talking about, this house. And he said, "What's the address?" And she said, "The address." I lived there when I was a kid. Apparently, back in the day, there was a couple that took in foster children, and he was from Cuba. So he actually lived at that house as a foster child. And this gentleman says that woman was evil because she would take whatever they gave her for the foster stuff. She would barely feed us, and then she would spend it basically on herself. And so we asked him if he had any, did you ever experience anything there? Did you ever see anything? He said no. Just that woman was evil. That's all he kept saying. So I
Crazy.
wonder if some kid named Coco passed away in that house under her care.
Yeah, it's possible.
I really want to find out. I really want to do more digging.
Yeah. So
Here's
what was the?
something weird. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, you go ahead.
Here's something weird. My nephew is now 16 years old. And I was curious because I haven't really talked to him about this. I didn't want to, it was kind of a traumatic thing for him. So I didn't want to bring it up. But my sister told me, because we do a live show now, Down the Rabbit Hole Live every Friday. We're going to be on tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Time. And she had told me that he doesn't remember any of that. But he does ask her to drive him to the house, even though other people are living there, and just to park outside it so he can just look at it.
Hmm.
And isn't that bizarre? He
It
he doesn't
is.
remember anything, but he loves that house. He remembers like it was a good memory for him. And some people have told me, whatever you do, do not let him go inside. Something in there is calling him, and if you let him go in, he could be possessed or whatever. I don't know. Really, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's weird that he is being called to it somehow.
Yeah, for sure.
What do
Okay,
you
so
guys think about that?
that's crazy.
It
That's
is.
crazy.
It's just like, I've heard stories of like people investigating houses where like a younger person is like affected in a way that like totally changes them, where like a podcast I did, I think it was last summer, where they actually had to call 911 and had the firefighters, paramedics, and police come because their son was just like staring off into a corner in a mental state where it's like they couldn't move him and they didn't know what was going on. And it's like soon as they got him out of the house, he was better and he didn't remember any of it.
Wow,
Wow.
that is weird. I just don't know what to think about that. So there is a little bit more of this. My sister, when she moved into this house, she was told by the person who owned it and was renting to her, who just happened to have our mother's same name. Bizarre. That just freaks me out. Told her, "Listen, I need to let you know something before you move in, okay? Anyone who moves into this house, it doesn't matter if you're just a couple, if you're married, whatever it is, gets divorced, breaks up, and I feel like I have to warn you about that." And so my sister, when she was moving in, her marriage was, I mean, as close to perfect as you can get. It was a great marriage. The guy is a wonderful guy. He's a big muscular guy, but he's very reserved and quiet and kind and soft spoken. He's just a wonderful guy, right? I thought he was great. Perfect relationship. My nephew was one when they moved in, and she's like, "Yeah, I need this place, so I'm taking it." And it took a long time, but he started to change in that house. His demeanor changed in that house. And she said that she also changed in some ways. Like she would hear things in her head and then she would do them. Like
Oh,
something was telling her, like, go look at his phone, go look at his phone. And so she would go and look at his phone, see if there's anything weird in
Wow.
there. Yeah. He got so, like, when I stayed there that night, when I had that experience, he was basically letting me know he wanted me out of his house without saying the words "get
wow.
out."
Wow.
It's not like him. I'm
Weird.
telling you, this is not like him at all. It's so bizarre that he was making me feel very uncomfortable. He wanted me out of his house. I did. I left like a day later. I was like, I'm out. Forget it. I went somewhere else. But they ended up getting a divorce. And he moved out first, and then she moved out. And now they're like the best co-parents I've ever seen because he went back to normal. He's back to his normal self.
Mhm.
They help each other out. They do, it's really a nice, I really look at that as like a model for people who get divorced.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
how you need to be when you are co-parenting and you're trying to, because they're really great together. They really do a good job.
Mhm.
But he was someone else, and I don't understand that. Something took him over. I don't know how to explain it, but I wish I could. I wish I could explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the one thing that I want to ask you about your, I guess, alternate reality is what was the most disturbing thing that you discovered?
So, man, I'm not a tall dude. I'm not super tall. I don't know, Matthew, you look like you're a tall guy.
Yeah. 6'1".
6'1". God, dog. I love it. I wish I was 6'1". I was 5'8.5". Okay, so the very next day after that experience, whatever
Mhm.
happened in that fire, the very next day I was significantly shorter. I didn't understand why. So people that I would look eye to eye at, I was now looking up at, and I could not explain what the deal was there. I didn't like it. Curbs like on the street seemed bigger, like a bigger step. I don't know what was going on. I felt
Weird.
like I was in a different universe. It just felt weird. And then I discovered because I had very debilitating rheumatoid arthritis. It was difficult to live when I had like when it was saying having an experience with it because I
Yeah.
really couldn't move around. I couldn't really walk because it was both my hips, my knees, sometimes my ankles, my
Mhm.
chest. Um, so I don't have that anymore. It's gone
Yeah.
after that day. Like before I
Crazy.
had pain and now I don't have that pain, but there's something different in place of it. So I now have something called ankylosing spondylitis, which is basically your vertebrae are now fusing, squeezing out the discs in between slowly.
Never heard of that.
It is bizarre, but that explains my height. I didn't have that before that day. I went to the doctor because I had a rheumatoid arthritis doctor. He looked at, like I said, look, man, I'm not feeling any pain. Everything seems great. He said, let's take some tests. And then he found that on some x-rays. And he said, you didn't have this before. And they were looking at the old x-rays and see how you don't have it here, but you have it here. Something like this takes a long time to develop. And it seems like yours was in a snap. And what's going to happen is it's going to eventually go down the line. The one thing I love about it is it's not painful. I don't have any pain. I just
Okay.
look like a little hunchback guy walking around, kind of like,
Yeah.
which I'm okay. I don't care. I'll take that over pain any day.
Yeah.
So those two things were very bizarre. I couldn't
Yeah.
explain it. The doctors couldn't explain it. Um, there's a little patch in the back of my neck that was new. I didn't have that before. It it felt like like about the size of your finger, your fingerprint back here. And it when I would touch it, it felt like it had these lines on it. It felt like gills because I could move them up and down. And I couldn't explain that. So I went to the doctor with that, and they're like, "Oh, never seen that before. I'm going to send you to a specialist." They sent me to a dermatologist. They took samples, they did tests. They couldn't explain it. But what started happening is this, whatever this was, started to spread
Hmm.
and slowly move from this side to the other side of my neck. Like it was growing. It's like the size of my palm now. And they said it looks like a third-degree burn. They asked me if I had gotten burned, and I didn't.
Yeah.
But this is where all these theories started coming up. I started trying to explain what happened that day, and I feel like the other person that that was asleep died. So I feel like whatever happened in another universe, that person didn't make it.
Yeah.
And it seems
That's
like the
bizarre.
two slapped together in some way that I still have whatever the other guy had, and it attached to me. So I don't know. I can't explain it. It's something I didn't talk about for years because I I don't know how to explain it. I want to sound crazy, but it
Right.
got to the point where I'm like, I got to talk about this because I came up with all these theories. Like one of my theories is like, if there really is a multiverse, if there's an infinite amount of universes, then every moment you've ever like in another universe, every second you've ever lived, you've died in another universe.
Hmm. I did
From
a project
birth,
on that freshman year.
what's that?
I did a project on that freshman
Oh,
year.
did
It's
you?
technically
Wow.
quantum immortality theory if you look it up.
Yes, that's it. I've definitely looked that up. I've posted a lot about it. It's fascinating. But yeah, it blows my mind to think because now I can see them. Now I can see uh where I may have died here or I may have died there, but I
Hmm.
Yeah.
lived through it, or miraculously. I had a heart attack almost 2 years ago. And what was bizarre about it is I didn't know I had it. So I
Hmm.
had a heart attack and it just felt like my muscles were tired or hungry. That's why I kept saying my
Okay.
muscles feel hungry. It's weird. Next day went by. I had like a little issue. Like I would breathe in deep and at the very deep end, it would hurt a little bit. That's weird, but no big deal. Next day went by. I would breathe in and halfway start hurt. So I thought, okay, I better go and check out what's up. Go to the like clinic. They're like, sir, you need to, we're gonna call an ambulance for you. I'm like, what? Sir, you need to go to the hospital right now. And I'm like, I can drive myself, don't worry about it. Because ambulance rides are expensive. I don't know if y'all
Yeah.
know. But I drove, my sister was actually with me. We went to the hospital and my girlfriend got there and turns out I had had a heart attack 72 hours before.
Wow.
And I felt fine. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
That's
But
bizarre.
definitely died that day in another universe.
Wow.
That guy's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't explain
That's,
any of this stuff and I don't understand it, but it is fascinating to talk about.
yeah, it is. So, do you interpret the experience as a timeline shift, parallel universe, Mandela effect, altered state of consciousness, glitch in reality, or something else entirely?
Hmm. I can say this. I didn't know about the Mandela effect till after that experience.
Hmm.
And I kind of think about it being an alternate timeline. Like, I don't know how that would work,
Hmm.
but the Mandela effect came into prominence about 2009. It was
Mm.
That's when it happened. And I'm always abreast of all the weird stuff. Never heard about it till after 2014.
Mm.
So, and I also remember like things were calmer back then. Like they're crazy now. Things are nuts and out of control. It feels like it's a different timeline. But like everything you mentioned, could it be any one of those or all of them? I don't know.
Both at the same time.
Could it be? Who knows? And maybe that explains why this reality has Mandela effects.
Hmm.
And I don't know what the deal was with the other one, but I'm glad I'm not in pain anymore. That's all I can say. I really love that. Another thing that happened after that whole fire incident is that I started smelling fires like
Oh.
all the time. Like a month later, I'm at my girlfriend's house and I smell the same smoke. I smell like definitely freak out because I'm thinking, oh, it's happening again. There's a fire here. I'm running around looking for the fire. My girlfriend's like, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "You don't smell that? It's a fire. There's smoke. I can smell it." Nothing, nothing.
Mm.
And so that would happen periodically. I would smell smoke. I would smell smoke. I'd go look, nothing. I'd look outside, nothing. So it just kept happening, and it got to the point where I was just used to it. So I was just, "Oh, here it is again. Here's that
Yeah.
smell." So now it's rare. It doesn't happen as often. But when I do smell it, I'm like, okay, here it is.
Yeah.
It's very distinct too. It smells like that day.
Hmm. So, a little sidebar question after you had mentioned the Mandela effect. Um, Is there like a specific one in your course of research that really like messed with you the most?
There's so many. I think the first one we can all remember is the mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the
Yep.
fairest of them all? And that one got my attention because I don't remember Magic Mirror ever, but it could very well be that it was changed later, right?
Hmm.
And people do remember the old way, and it's just not that way anymore,
Yeah.
right? Because people have mentioned that they go and they get their old videotapes,
Hmm.
and some groups say it says mirror, mirror, and some groups say it says magic mirror.
Yeah.
How is that possible? I can't explain it. I
Yeah.
don't
Hmm.
understand. That's why my one of my podcasts is called David Don't Know, because
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that at all. But that's
Yeah.
one of my favorites is that one. You've heard about the what is it called? The underwear company,
Yeah.
Fruit of the Loom.
Yep.
Doesn't have the cornucopia.
It doesn't have the cornucopia. And they showed Fruit of the Loom actually showed all the logos they've had over the years, and there's no cornucopia. But some lady on TikTok actually found the shirts that she had bought years and years and years ago, showed them they do have the cornucopia.
Interesting.
The theory there is these companies, a lot of these companies are using the Mandela effect to get more attention, thus get more sales, which makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. But it's not real. That one in particular should not be real. They're just trying to get more attention.
Yeah.
But which one do you think, Jada, is real? Which one do you think is the one that you
I
say,
I don't know. The one that messes with me the most is the Tinkerbell on the Disney openings.
oh yeah.
Because I distinctly remember that happening. And
Hmm.
it might be the same thing as the magic mirror, but it's been like recorded that that never happened, but everyone who has mentioned it can trace the exact path in which the fairy took.
Yeah.
So that one's really weird.
How about you, Matthew? Do you actually remember Nelson Mandela passing away in the 80s?
I don't.
See, I do. I do recall CNN, big breaking news. He died in prison. And there's a whole funeral procession. Uh, his wife is following the casket. It's in the street. It's a big deal. And then later on, he's president. It's like, what? How is he president? He's not alive. What happened?
Hmm.
That's where of course, the name comes from. But it's just
Yeah.
like, I don't get it. Why is this happening? And what are they doing? Another theory is it's like a CIA psyop that they're trying to see how much they can get away with. I don't know about that. I'm not sure if that's a real thing or not. But what would they gain from something like that, do you think? I
True.
don't, what's the point? It's a waste of money and resources.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm so glad that you mentioned it earlier. Your different podcasts.
Hmm.
So I want to ask you what separates down the rabbit hole live, deeper down the rabbit hole with David, and David don't know.
So the first podcast I opened was David Don't Know, and I just wanted to talk about anything paranormal, conspiracy, unexplained, Bigfoot aliens, Bigfoot aliens. Ooh, no, like
That'd be a
ghosts,
big-footed aliens. I like
the
that.
Bigfoot, that would be crazy. Can you imagine a gray alien with giant feet? But no, I just wanted to talk about that stuff because I loved putting the content out, finding the content, sharing it, asking questions about it, doing polls and all that. And I felt like I need to talk to people about this because this is, I don't know if you've ever met someone and just out of the blue start talking about ghosts or your ghost story or whatever, but it's like a binding kind of a conversation. People who I guess are weird or, think about different things kind of like this, whenever you tell a story like this, it kind of bonds you with someone
Mhm.
who also likes it.
It does.
I've always,
And then like another thing I've noticed too, I have a friend that he owns a haunted house in Minneapolis, and
Oh,
I've gone there a couple times, just shoot the shit with them. And next thing you know, it's like 3 hours later, it's like the
yes.
time just melts away. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's where that came from. And then I thought, you know what would be cool is to do a panel show where I can get three, four, five people together. We can take one subject and just go deeper down that. So that's where Deeper Down the Rabbit Hole with David came from. I only have 3 episodes of that, but episode one is CERN. We talk about CERN, which is kind of lends to the Mandela effect because a lot of people think that CERN actually is the reason why we've split into different realities or has smashed two realities together. That's why people remember differently. I think the real reason is memory. You can't trust memory. That's to me,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
episode two was about alien species, and then episode three was dreams, and I had Ronnie LeBlanc on that one, and the psychic firefighter Andrew Radzowitz, and a couple other people, and it was just great. I'm gonna keep doing these, but I don't have a timeline like I do them once a month maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then Down the Rabbit Hole Live is a show I just decided to do with my sister, or we can just shoot the stuff, just talk about whatever, and we can bring in like bizarre elements. Like tomorrow we're going to be talking about the Appalachian Mountains and
That's where I
all.
live.
Is it really? Where do you live exactly?
Like right in between Cherokee and Asheville.
Oh, that's cool. So like I'm fascinated by that whole thing because it's like many states,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I just learned today that going back before like dinosaurs, when all the land masses were kind of together, the mountains were created then. And then when they
Yeah.
separated,
They predate multicellular organisms.
that's freaking amazing to me.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna have two people on, guests that one lives in Appalachia. I think she's in Tennessee area,
Okay.
Nashville area. I think that she's
Oh,
in.
awesome. Okay.
Rachel Spear. She's great. I had her on my show also. And
Okay.
another gentleman named V who was raised in one of those communities that has very little people in the community in the mountains and is kind of like isolated. I'm
Hmm.
fascinated by those little towns where people are just not like they don't mix with outsiders.
Right.
It's craziness to me.
Well,
I
it's
love
like
it.
my craziest experience out in the Appalachian Mountains was last summer. We were going from Williamson, West Virginia to Fairfield, Ohio.
Mhm.
8 o'clock in the morning. I think the nearest road town was probably like 10 miles, 15 miles in either direction. Come around the corner, here there's a guy leaning against the guardrail, cigarette in one hand, beer in the other, just in a pair of shorts. It's like, where'd this guy come from? It's like you're in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
And it's like,
So,
but I'm like, was he really a person or
yeah.
I don't know. It was just like, what the
Oh,
heck was that?
Yeah. We have a lot of those around here. David, with your thing on the Appalachian Mountains, have you done any digging on the feral people yet?
yes, I found
Okay.
something today and I'm debating if I should show it or not, but it's a family that basically was inbred,
Yeah.
and there's some video out there that show them, and most of them are kind of their eyes are kind of messed up, and they don't speak like like a
Mhm.
language. It's like these grunts or whatever. And there's one gentleman who is not like affected by this. One of the brothers, he's actually normal or whatever. He can speak, but it's disturbing. It's kind of scary, and that people who come across them are told not to engage.
Mhm.
And so I think that's bizarre. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know, how do you talk to people like that grunt?
Right.
And
Have Have you researched the Moon-Eyed people?
the moon-eyed people,
Yes.
I've heard of them, but I did not know they came from there.
Yeah, they're Cherokee Appalachian, and they a friend of mine, he is Cherokee, and I sent him down before one of my first podcasts, and I had asked him, and from what I remember, they're like English or Irish settlers who
Uh-huh.
came to Cherokee before the indigenous people like set up their camps and started their life, but they were not aware that these other settlers were here. So
Mhm.
whenever the settlers had come from like Ireland, I believe. They had like the ginger hair and they were really pale naturally,
Mhm.
and they had blue eyes. And so they would end up coming out at night because they were afraid that during the day that they would get killed or come into conflict that they wouldn't be able to resolve. And so after staying in the dark for so long, they ended up becoming extremely pale, and then just with their light eyes, and their hair would get a little bit lighter from like lack of protein and stuff like that, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
They believed that these people were like ghosts or like cryptids of some sort, but it ended up just being the settlers who were too afraid to come out during the day.
Yeah, I heard about that. Have we ever found any proof of or like any people like alive? Because that's what the Indians would call them, right? The moon-eyed people.
Well, yeah, I mean, but yeah, we have those people still, but they're normally just like Irish settlers.
Hmm.
So,
Have you ever experienced anything up there?
me?
Yeah.
Um, I I abide by the rules of the Appalachian Mountains to a T.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I
No whistling.
avoid conflict, or
Hmm.
I avoid coming into contact with them. But a few of my friends don't. And so one lives up near Nantahala, one of the rivers nearby, and she has experienced a lot. Another one of my friends, her name's Gracie, she lives like right in the mountains in Cherokee,
Hmm.
and on her property she's had a lot of weird things that I remember her talking about whenever we were younger. And just a lot of my friends here like screaming in the woods, whistling in the woods, which can be ruled off because we have like mountain lions around here which do make those noises.
Right.
But there's like a bodily reaction that's different whenever you hear an animal make a noise and
Yeah.
whenever you hear a human in danger.
Yeah, for sure.
So I stay safe. I don't mess around with it, so I don't encounter too much, but a lot of people do.
That's interesting. That is wild.
It is something. So I want to go back to your podcast.
Sure.
Which show allows you to explore the strangest material?
They they both do. When I'm talking about the podcast, both David Don't Know and Deeper Down the Rabbit Hole with David, both of those explore in different ways. So in the David Don't Know, I interview someone and we talk about several subjects. So we get to go down several like different subjects or anything they want to talk about, right?
Yeah.
On Deeper Down, we take one subject and we all bring our knowledge on that and we try to go as deep on that subject and try to like learn new things we didn't know before. For example, the CERN episode, very first episode, I learned a lot that I didn't know before. It was shocking what they're doing over there and the kind of stuff that was going on. And it's shut down right now, but like the bizarre rituals, I didn't know they're doing rituals at CERN. That's crazy.
It is.
It's so bizarre. What are
Yeah.
they trying to accomplish? I mean, did they, because, some genius kid said that in 2012, they actually destroyed the universe. We're in a different universe because of it. And a lot of
Mhm.
people kind of share that theory that it opened basically opened a black hole or they call it singularity, and it destroyed the universe and pushed us into a
Okay.
different universe. Fascinating, fascinating
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure. Wow. Do you have a topic that you like deliberately stay away from?
Politics.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think a
yeah,
lot of
that's
people
very
say the
fair.
same thing.
Very.
Politics, religion, politics, religion. I try to stay away from that. Um, because people get polarized on one side or the other, and
Yep.
I'm
Mhm.
not interested in talking about that. That's not fun to me. You know what I mean? I'm not about hate. I'm about love, and I'm about all the spooky stuff. That's my thing.
Yeah.
And then religion, same thing. I've been on both spectrums. I've been a very devout religious person, and I've been an atheist. I'm not either of those now, but it's another subject I try to avoid. I just don't. It's not a good thing. A lot of people have beliefs that they cannot or are refusing. They'll refuse to talk about or change or whatever. And I'm just not interested in trying to do any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you ever had a guest tell you something after recording that was stranger than what they said on the camera or publicly?
No, thank God.
Okay.
I kind of feel like, I'm not a journalist or anything like that, but I feel like I've developed interview skills that have served me well. Like I can actually, when people will tell me what they're wanting to tell me, I can actually dig deeper and try to get them to say other things.
Yeah.
And I've been very fortunate that not only do they tell me the stories they came with, they tell me other stories that are just as bizarre or some
Mm.
cases even more bizarre. Either it happened to them or it happened to a family member or whatever. And yeah. Um, so yeah, I've not had that. I would be bummed out if if we finish
Yeah.
recording and they tell me something else. It's like, what? Dude, why
Yeah.
didn't you save that for the show? You
Hmm. Yeah. So, okay, what is one guest or just person that you would consider your like dream interview?
Bob Lazar. I
Hmm.
want to interview Bob Lazar so bad. He is to me, the first major whistleblower that if it weren't for him, I don't think we'd be in this area of disclosure that we're in right now, this area of the government releasing files. He explained bizarre things. For example, Element 115. We didn't know about Element 115 before he mentioned it. We didn't have it. And then years later, suddenly there's an Element 115. That's
Hmm.
exactly how he described it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would love to interview him. That would be my number one.
Hmm.
But I'm
That
open
is a good
to,
one.
yeah, I'm open to anybody, man. Uh, I have many famous followers. One of them being, I wonder if Matthew will remember this person. Her name is, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. She's the lead singer of the Go-Go's,
Oh,
Oh,
what?
Belinda Carlisle.
Nice.
So she took a picture, she shared a picture on her Instagram. She's a follower of mine. I saw that it was in CERN, like she was down in the collider and she was taking a picture. And so I reached out and I said, "Hey man, that was a great picture. Did anything weird happen there while you were there?" And she responded with, because this is the first time I ever reached out to her. She said, "Oh my God, it's you."
Nice.
And I was like, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, actually what happened was I got down there and there's like this weird brain thing. I don't know what happened, but I had this brain issue. Like it was something there was disturbing or hurting my head,
hmm.
and I couldn't think clearly. I don't know what that was, but I really believe it's something happening at CERN.
Yeah.
They could have been doing it deliberately. So I've asked her to be on the show, and she agreed. So hopefully later in the year,
That's awesome.
Awesome.
yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. She's I listened to her music in the 80s big time, and then
Oh
of
yeah.
course kept following her. She's a solo career and her music is great. I love it. Huge fan.
Wow. That's so awesome. I'm so happy. Like, as like another person with a podcast, that's like incredible.
Oh my God, I hope it happens. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward
Fingers
to that.
crossed for you.
Thank you. I have another like Gerard Butler, he follows me. Lena Headey, do you know who she is? She
Yep.
was okay, so they were both in 300. And the fact that they're both following me, I just love to death.
Gerard who?
Uh Gerard Butler, he was
Oh,
in 300. He was the
okay.
main guy. If you ever remember, this is Sparta, that was him.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
think
he's great.
my going into it, I've had a lot of great people on that would be dream interviews, but I think like just because I've like seen a lot of stuff lately and just kind of sparking my curiosity, I think my dream interview right now would be Dan Aykroyd.
Ooh,
Hmm.
You
He's
could
got a
actually,
new
Oh yeah,
he's got
yeah.
a new book coming out in October. I'm just like, God, that'd be just like so awesome.
yeah, he is a, I mean, he just put that picture out. Did you see that picture he recently put out about him and his dad?
Yep.
Did you, what was that tube-like thing?
I don't know.
So crazy, man. So crazy. And of course, he did Ghostbusters.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
And
the
I got
man.
his Funko pop up on my shelf right above me.
Oh,
Feel
that's
like
awesome. You know who else would be my now that you mentioned that, let me show you something here. Give me a second. This guy right here, Bill Murray.
There you go.
God, he would be
Uh
so hard to get.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
he would be. He has like he doesn't have
He doesn't have a phone.
nope. You gotta leave a message in some weird voice box mail thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But oh, can you imagine? Oh,
I
That'd
wonder
be
if
so
he's still part owner of the St. Paul Saints, the minor league baseball team here in
I
Minnesota.
don't know. That's a good question. He might be still. What about you, Jada? Who would be your dream interview?
don't ask me that.
Come
All
on,
I
Jada.
talk
You asked
about is
me.
all I talk about is music, and so it would just be like I don't know. I'm going into journalism. I'm going to be a music journalist, so
Very cool.
I really don't know. I don't know. I'm just happy with who we get.
I still remember a few months back, Jada came on. She had no idea who one of our guests was. Just
Mhm.
to look at, we had Patty Negri on. Jada just like
Oh,
it took her a few minutes to register, but just like the shock on her face and like I go, this has been planned for months, and we were keeping a secret from her.
that's cool, man. I'd love to have her on the show.
We
Oh,
had
I can probably make it happen. Patty
yeah.
and I are thick as thieves.
Sweet. Yeah, I would love
I was
that.
just texting her like an hour ago.
Now,
No.
I've never seen Ghost Adventures.
Hmm.
Never. Have you guys? Obviously, I know Matthew has. Have you ever
I've
seen?
watched it here and there.
That was like my entire like childhood. So yeah,
Oh, really?
I'm
I'm
huge.
not a huge fan of Mr. Baggins. Not a huge
Yeah,
fan.
neither am I, to be honest.
His
Yeah.
museum's awesome though.
I hear, and I'm down to go to check it
Yeah,
out
it's
for
awesome.
sure. I'm gonna go see it. But it struck me, because I started doing a couple of investigations. Like I did three or two or three.
Mhm.
And it's not like the shows, man, because the show has something happen every single time,
Yeah,
right? And then I go out and I go to the one of the most haunted places in San Antonio where I live, called Victoria's Black Swan Inn. And
Ooh.
it is creepy looking from the outside. It looks like it's a mansion-like place, but like it's white and it's like chip paint all over. It looks creepy. It looks like a freaking Halloween haunted house. And I was being sponsored by Curious Twins Paranormal, so they gave me a free tour, a private tour with. I took my family over there. We did an investigation in the house. Nothing happened, man, and I was so disappointed. And then I did an investigation at the haunted doll. Wait, what is it called? The Haunted Dollhouse Museum or Haunted Doll
okay.
Museum or something like that here in San Antonio. Again, nothing weird. We had a bell ring. Woo! Yay, a bell ring. No one rang the bell. Someone rang. I don't know who, but it was yeah. So then I watched these shows, and it's like every show, man, something interesting happens. That's not
Hmm.
real. That's not real. I
Yeah,
don't think it's
it's
real.
I've been on, coming up here in a couple of weeks, I'll be on my 50th investigation, and I've
Wow.
had so many where nothing happens.
Hmm.
So many, right? It's yeah. Ronnie had mentioned because he was doing Exhibition Bigfoot or Destination Bigfoot. I always mix it up.
Hmm.
He was doing that. He did several seasons of that, and the last season he is not on, or the season that's out now, he decided not to do it. And he told me on my show that the reason why is because they were trying to, um, the producers were trying to like razz it up, like add stuff
Yeah,
to it, and he was not down with that, which I have a lot of respect for. And I was like, dude, good on you.
right.
So he just decided not to go with that.
Okay, how are we doing on time? Are we okay for a few more?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. So I have one that's like kind of our last written, and then I'm just gonna kind of let us branch out.
Hmm.
So if David from the alternate timeline
Yeah.
somehow exists right now, what do you think happened to him when you came back here? And is it possible that he woke up in your reality?
That's a great question. I think he's dead. As a matter of
Okay.
fact, I'm certain he's dead
Mhm.
because, like they said, 10 more minutes, I would be gone. That guy was taking a nap.
Yeah.
He didn't make it out. And I have a theory that I was like sleeping kind of like face down on my side or whatever. When I went after the fire, there were these massive holes from the apartment above mine. And in the bedroom, it was right above the bed and things fell through and all that. And yeah,
Mhm.
I think that guy didn't make it.
Really?
Absolutely not. No, he did not. If
Wow.
he didn't burn up, he died from smoke inhalation. One of the
Mhm.
two things happened. Maybe there's so many, maybe there's so many realities that there are just a number of things that happened. And one was smoke, one was fire. Who knows what else?
Yeah.
Drowned from the amount of water those guys were spraying in there. Good Lord. That was a crazy night.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, Matt, do you have any questions?
I'm kind of looking through here and bouncing around. So I had mentioned earlier, like, going to my friend's house and talking to him
Mhm.
and just like time just kind of melting away.
Right.
So what do you make of like reports involving missing time?
They always seem to me to be around people experiencing seeing lights in the sky or alien type things or ships or whatever. They seem to fall around that. It's like the first question. If I ever interview anybody or I'm talking to somebody about it, the first question I'll ask is, did you lose time? Did you miss any time? Um, I've had several people say yes, or they didn't even realize it, but like a whole hour or 2 hours had gone by. They weren't sure what happened there, but they had forgotten about it. Other people say no, they didn't miss any time. So I kind of judge that if they're missing time, they were abducted.
Yeah.
That's what I connect right away. If they're missing any time, I try to tell them to go and seek a hypnotherapist and try to do some regression therapy to see if you can figure out what happened that night, what really happened. But I do have like there's a story. So I'm a rideshare driver, and I get stories for David Don't Know because I tell one rideshare driver story in the beginning of those episodes. And one of them was a woman who told me when she was a lot older, but when she was younger, living in a small town, I think in Texas somewhere, her and her buddy were driving her car. They were like going to a party, and then when they were coming back home, which is like a 15-minute drive, they saw something in the sky. It was a bright light. It went right in front of them, blinded them, and stopped. And the car went off. She said that she turned the car on and bolted, and this thing was following them. And as soon as they got into town, she got into the gas station that's like right at the edge of town, did a spin around, and the thing was gone.
Wow.
So I asked her if she was missing any time, and she said she was. As a matter of fact, she did hypnotherapy, and what she found was when the car stopped, she was in her car and she looked to her friend to see if she was still there, and her friend wasn't there. And then when she saw in the front of her car were two grays walking her friend towards the ship.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
Hmm.
wild, man. Wild. I love those stories.
Wow. That's crazy.
All right, let's see where I saw another one. Um, okay, so have you ever personally experienced something in the woods you couldn't explain?
Hmm.
No.
No?
I am not a wood guy. I
Okay.
like air conditioning. I live in Texas. It's hot all the time here. Um, so I used to when I was a kid, we would go camping. I loved camping, but I got over that when I got older, and I have not experienced anything in the woods at all. And I don't think I'll ever experience anything in the woods.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not doing the Appalachian Trail at all. Not happening.
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't,
when
yeah.
we were there, it's like I wanted to stop at an antique store, but I'm like, will I come out of the antique store or will I become a permanent resident of it? So I'm just like, nope, I'm gonna stay away.
Right, right.
Just don't
We
I
know.
were
think I'm sorry.
we were in shoot, where were we? We were in Indiana like last week.
Hmm.
And there was this freaking antique store down there. And I had been looking for this song for like the whole ride down there. And I couldn't think of the name of it because I had heard it on Pop Goes Punk and I wanted to know the name of it. Knew what the
Hmm.
album cover looked like. I didn't know what the song was. And we get in there and I'm like, this place is odd. And I'm walking around and I get to this stack of CDs and me being a music freak, I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I'm like shuffling through them and I look, the first CD on the top was
Hmm.
the Santana album that Smooth was on. And so I
Oh.
look at mom and I was like, what's this? And she was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, oh. And so we walk around to the back and there's this comic that I've been looking for like
Hmm.
ever and I don't know if it's discontinued or what. It's called The Preacher. And I get back there and it's in the rack and I was like,
Wow.
I need to get out of here before I end up becoming one of these things because there's no way that these two completely unrelated things have been found in the same antique store.
That is crazy.
Did you
So,
buy them? Did you buy
no,
them?
no, I did not buy them. I did not have a good feeling about that. So well, I was going to buy them, but then mom
Yeah,
was like, "Oh, Joe and Dom are already at the place. We need to go meet them." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I was, that was weird.
that is weird. That's a good comic, by the way. I saw the TV show,
Really?
which was pretty decent. Yeah, I'm a fan for
Okay.
sure.
I've watched a lot of interviews, and one of my like favorite artists had like was talking about it, and I love horror and I love comics, so I was like, okay, let's give it a try. I didn't end up buying it, and I'm still looking for it, but
Hmm. Should have bought it, but
I really should have.
you were probably scared something bad was going to happen, right?
I was really scared that something bad was going to happen, and that was the first stop on a road trip, and I was not risking it.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome though. That's awesome that two things like that you've been looking forever just happen to be in the same place.
That's insane. Yeah, you never
What
see
did the what did the owner look like?
I, it was like some dude, and he had like longer hair, and it was like a brownish blondish, and it was like kind of like thinning, and it was in a ponytail, and he had these little like they were like the shape of Matt's glasses, but they were just like um what's it called? Just like the frames. It wasn't like box like
Okay.
the black boxes. It was just like metal.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And that's all that I really remember because I didn't spend too much time talking to him. I get back there, I look at the comics. Dom's like, "What are you, some kind of comic book freak?" And I see it, and I'm like, I need to get out of here."
I love that she remembered all those details
That's
of that
awesome.
guy. That's crazy. It's the devil. It was the devil. He was there.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just forgot that Livy was at my house, and she just ran down the stairs, and that just scared me so bad. I was like, "Oh, he's coming for me."
Oh man.
Okay. Enough
What else
about
you
my
got, Matt?
place.
All right. So another one is there one haunted location? Now it can be anywhere in the world you'd love to deep dive into the history and investigate it.
The first thing that came to my mind was Vlad's castle.
Oh
I've
yeah.
gotten that answer a lot.
Really?
Yes.
It seems have you ever seen it? Like obviously not there, but have you ever seen like a video of it or whatever?
Just pictures
Fascinating looking place.
for
I would
sure.
love to dive into that place. See if you can pull up any kind of reactions or sounds or whatever. But there's another one in Kentucky. It's the I'm drawing a blank on it right now, but it's an asylum.
Waverly Hills, is that the one?
Yeah, Waverly Hills. Down in there's a hallway, a long hallway where they would wheel the bodies and
Yep.
gurneys.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of videos. I've posted a lot of videos on Down the Rabbit Hole of people watching gurneys just move on their own all the way down.
That
Woo.
place
And
is something. I've been there twice.
really, did you
This
see Mary at all?
I've had some really good dead bell interactions with her. It's
Wow.
like I had the dead bell outside her room. I
Hmm.
kid you not, this thing was, what was it, the dead bell or was it the REM pod? I don't know, one of the two, but it was
My
going
REM pod
off
Yeah.
at
never goes
like,
off.
what's that?
My REM pod never goes off.
But it was like going off for like 15 minutes straight. It would not stop.
So 503, right? That's the room.
Yep.
Yeah, because there was her
502.
Or
502.
502, 503, same thing.
I did a video on her specifically, because of the story behind that. And then
And a friend of mine has gotten a lot of spirit interaction from her, which
uh,
it's completely against what everyone has said actually happened.
oh, so did she say what happened or she
So she was raped by the doctor,
oh,
and she did not hang herself in front of
okay.
those kids. Those kids were her entire life. And
Wow.
so they do believe that it was either the doctor or one of the maintenance people there, I'm pretty sure, who
Mhm.
strung her body up because the wounds on her body did not align to death by
Yeah.
being hung. So they think that they're pretty sure, 100% sure almost, that it was murder, but this information came from my friend who is an ex tour guide there.
Oh
So
wow. So yeah, so the doctor was married
yeah,
and got her pregnant. So he could not
yes,
let that happen.
no. So she
And
was murdered.
yeah. And then 2 or 3 years after that incident, another nurse took her life by jumping out the window. So yeah, crazy
But
stuff.
yeah,
I love
my
that stuff.
second
See,
time there was June of last year,
Hmm.
and I don't remember really being there at all.
Uh,
It was just like I know I was there and I was walking around, and I can go back in the footage and see, but I don't remember any of the stuff that happened.
really?
you
Yeah,
got abducted.
Yeah,
who
missing
knows?
time?
It's like again, it's just like weird. It's like I remember getting there, and then I remember leaving, but really everything in between I don't remember.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
man.
weird.
That is so cool. Yeah, that's one of the places for sure. Great question.
Okay. Well, I have my last question, and it's
Sure.
one of the questions that I ask every guest who comes on here. And so
Yay.
I want to know what your favorite scary movie is.
My favorite scary movie is Insidious, the first one.
Oh my
Love
gosh.
Insidious.
Oh my gosh.
Is that yours?
No, we did have we did have a connection to that at one of our last things, but you have to watch our documentary in order to figure that out. So it's Kinsey
Okay.
Project on YouTube with under my friend Dom's name. So
Yeah, send it to me. I'll watch it.
yeah, totally. But we
Yeah.
definitely did. It's so weird that you said that because we did have a tie to Insidious at that
That's
location.
cool.
So
Yeah, I love it because it has elements, it has a lot of elements. Elements of like hauntings, like a ghost haunting, which was really spooky. It was scary. I loved it. And then that whole other world, like the world of the dead. I loved it, man. I don't know if you've ever seen The Exorcist, but
yeah.
Yeah,
um, I saw that when I was 8 at home alone.
Damn.
Yeah, in the dark, like an idiot. Had nightmares for
Yeah.
weeks. And that was the one they showed on TV was highly edited. So I didn't even get to see the whole thing really. But you watch that now and it's laughable. It's hilarious. It's
yeah.
not scary at all. So yeah,
An
Insidious was
older
mine.
an older movie like that that always gets me, like still gets me, is The
Mhm.
Thing. I know that it's older and I know that it's kind of crappy,
It's a
but
good one.
Thing always like. And then in the newest it chapter 2, whenever they kind of parody that with
Hmm.
Stanley, the priest kid,
Hmm.
whenever his head grows the legs, that messed with me more than any clown could ever. The bodily horror of the thing is insane.
If you haven't seen the TV show, the It TV show,
Oh, Welcome to Derry?
yeah,
Yes, I've seen
worth
it.
it. Worth it. I
I'm
loved it.
obsessed with it.
I
So,
can't wait for the next season.
yeah, it's like in
Um,
1942, right?
yeah, it's like goes
Yeah,
back in time. It's gonna be
yeah.
great. What was the other movie you just mentioned? The old movie you said that scared you?
The Thing?
The Thing. Okay, so there's I also have a page called DTRH Cinematic Universe where I do movie reviews. The Thing is coming back. They're gonna make a part two.
Okay.
Do the same thing with Lost Boys, and it's making me mad.
Yeah, Lost Boys, that's a classic. They shouldn't ruin that. I would
No.
love to see what they do with The Thing with
Yeah,
updated.
all the CG. Yes.
Yes, that would be so killer. I'm so looking forward to that.
Well,
I
like
feel
one
like we haven't had a good horror movie in like 10 years.
Yep, you're probably right.
Sorry, what was it?
one movie I was disappointed that they remade, which I've never seen, is Poltergeist.
Oh, yeah.
They
I'm like,
remade that?
yeah, they did a remake of it. I'm just like, nope, I'm not even gonna even watch it.
That was so good. Poltergeist,
Yeah.
the first one, was so good.
Yep.
Mary Beth Williams was amazing in it too.
Yeah.
Have you seen Obsession? Have you guys seen Obsession?
Not yet, I haven't.
You guys, you
I
gotta see
got
that
it
one.
on Peacock ready to watch. I just gotta find the time.
I
Watch
was
it.
supposed to watch it, but then I went and watched Masters of the Universe for the fourth time. So,
You like that one? Was that good?
I mean, me and my dad love He-Man. So,
Okay.
I mean, just like, I was so mad that Panther wasn't in it. That made me
Uh,
so mad. And that Orko got like 30 seconds of screen time.
no, damn.
It was
Haven't seen it
horrible.
yet, but I don't know. I heard bad things. Like it wasn't that great, but I'm still
I
gonna
like
watch it.
it. I really liked it. Achilles. My
You
cat's in
guys,
my room.
you guys have really good design. I love the purple line behind you. It's amazing. And Matt, all the stuff you got back there, super cool, my friend.
Oh yeah, that's only half of the. There's the stuff on, like I said, on the other side, like on my desk. It's
Uh-huh.
just as full.
Yeah, love it.
Thank you. And if Matt doesn't have any other questions,
Nope, I think we covered a lot. I
we
can't think of
did.
anything else.
Awesome. Yeah.
So before we end the podcast, David, would you like to plug in your social media?
Sure, yeah. Definitely follow me. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Threads. It's Down the Rabbit Hole. And if you see paranormal videos, you're in the right place. I also have a podcast called David Don't Know. It's about to drop episode 39 next Thursday, a week from tonight. So yeah, definitely check that out. I have a lot of wonderful guests. I'm really, I feel blessed to have that show. Deeper Down the Rabbit Hole with David is out. There are 3 episodes. They are wild. Definitely watch that. They have been getting a lot of views. I'm so happy about that. And tomorrow, Down the Rabbit Hole Live, I'm going to be talking about the Appalachian Mountains. Am I saying that right?
Appalachian.
Appalachian. I got to say it right.
Appalachia. There
Appalachia.
you
And
go.
I'm going to have 2 guests on that are from there, and also my co-host, my sister. All
Oh,
right, guys.
All
Thanks a
right.
lot. Thanks for
thank
having
you
me,
so much.
guys.
Yes.
Really appreciate
Of
it.
course.
All right. And everybody have a great night.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.